I know he's still gone.
What?
But no testing yet to make sure it's not, you know what?
I mean, I would avoid testing at all costs because I don't want a Q-tip up my nostril into my brain.
Oh, yeah, it's not comfortable. I got tested.
Oh, the Q-tip one. I would.
I've never done that.
I'd rather not. Isn't that fluid? I'd rather not know.
I got tested for strep once.
Strep?
And yeah, for strep. And she sticks the Q-tip down my throat, and I literally grabbed her hand out of my mouth.
Oh.
She freaked out. I was like, I said, oh my God, I am so sorry.
Yeah.
And she tried it again, and the same thing. Like,
Just
yeah,
kidding.
no, we're not.
Hey, security, we need security.
Hold this man down.
So I got tested for meningitis B, and they shoved the meningitis down my throat, and it helped a little bit. Like a couple days.
They did what in your throat?
They shoved the thing down my throat, the Q-tip.
To like deaden it?
I legit had a panic attack. It was terrible.
It kind of
I like the feeling of being trapped, and I'm like, oh, God, James.
If you do the strep test, this is how you get your
Like
hand
it
back.
clears
You
the
hold
back
right
of my
here
throat.
for 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Push right here for 5 seconds. And then you squeeze right here for 5 seconds and you go.
Don't get sick.
Yeah, don't get sick.
Yeah, because the COVID test is up your nose, and that's, I had to do that, yeah. Way up your nose.
I don't know.
No, it's not the test. Yeah, you'll know if you have the flu. It's the
I know
mix.
where.
When you go. Okay, stick the tube up your nose.
There she is, and she's sideways. Hi, your picture's sideways. I don't know why. It's still sideways. Mine's right up.
That's an immunization.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Very disconcerting.
Oh yeah.
Ugh, you're still sideways. I guess.
This is my life now.
Why are you? Oh well, I guess it doesn't matter if you're sideways. But you can see me though, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
I had it like 8th grade, 5th grade when I was little.
There.
Do you all remember freshman year, like when half of the people in the school were gone? Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
I survived. I mean,
Getting there. Okay, y'all are supposed to have your not well. I said your small whiteboard, which has a grid on it,
Oh.
so that you don't have to draw your own grid. And you're supposed to sketch that out. I'll take roll. Transformations. Yeah, and this thing here is weird, so that may look better, like if you do it like that.
oh.
That make more sense. Got the little. So you have to remember the parent one and what it looks like. Kind of like this, right? Going through the origin. Okay, well, let's see. Okay, if it's in front of the parentheses, it's flipped over the x-axis. And so that would make it, I'm gonna go green, like that. That would be just putting the negative on it. And then moving it to the left 3. Would do that. That's x plus 3. And then moving it up 3 would bring it up here. So hopefully the purple one is the last one. That makes sense. Now, who wants to be brave and put it in your calculator and see if we're right? Because when you get to this many transformations, I always check on the calculator because it's like order of operations. Maybe I didn't do something in the right order. We just killed it.
Oh, I have to change my window.
Yeah, we're right. Kind of. It doesn't pass the y-axis.
As much. Oh yeah, I'd put it. I should have it going down faster.
Very short.
But that little middle part, it's still at -3.3. Yeah. And so I drew mine stretched out too much, which would probably would happen if I put a number in front of the X here. So it should be kind of like this, maybe more. Okay, well that was kind of a fun little thing, right? Woohoo. Now let's see what our new seating arrangement is.
Everyone's just like, no, and I'm like, okay.
I actually have it. Let's see, go over here, chemistry, pre-cal, and then I go to attendance, and then I go to visual. I need to take a, so we're all present except Brian, and save that, and go to visual. Ba-boom.
Can I stay there?
Okay, so what this means is Brian is right here, Miley, you're right there, and Kylie, you're way over there by the window, which is my favorite spot. And then Edwin, you're behind Brian. Jesse, you're right in the middle. James, you're over there by the bookcase. And then I have Candace down here all by herself. So Candace, you just have to rearrange your room so that you sit somewhere different. Oh, there she goes. Well, actually, she has kind of rearranged because if you notice in the camera here, she's sideways. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why she's sideways. Yeah. It just worked that way. Okay, let's see if I can put it up there. That's weird. Okay. And that's hopefully out of Miley's way.
That's fine.
Okay. With James sitting there and rocking the table, and it's scary, but I think it'll be okay. Okay, let me put this stuff up and see what we're doing today. Throw your box drink away. There's a trash can right here. You don't even have to go very far. Pre-cal. That's why I put you there. Just kidding. Okay, and did I have anything to pass back? No, just to Brian, because he's not here. Tuesday. Ah, we're doing that worksheet. Yes, the review sheet. So get that out, and we're going to finish it and check all your answers and have a test tomorrow. A seating chart change and a test. Now, you are not keeping social distance. Your chair is supposed to be over here. Yes. Wait a minute. Yeah. Yeah. 6 feet. I don't really care personally. I'll let you get away with it.
I think every day. I know. I think.
Yeah.
If one of us has it.
But see, the first row had the chairs this way, and on the second one I had it that way. Because if I had one right behind you, that would mess up that social distancing. So I have them shifted and shifted and shifted. And then I make sure Mr. Smith stays way back there. Yeah. Okay, so we're working on the review sheet. I will go get mine so I can help if you need any help. Where did I put it? There it is. Did Candace work with you any?
No, she just worked independently.
Okay. Yeah, she had sent some questions and I had emailed her back some answers. Chapter 1 review. Yeah. On a lot of them? What's the first one? 12. Yeah, when I picked that one, I thought, oh, okay, they're gonna freak out. Okay, well, let me ask you a question. I think you can figure this one out. So we get this pizza oven. I'll just make it there. It's a block. I need to maybe change this so you can see me. There it is. Okay. So this is number 12, right? So they get this and they pay for it $895. And this is year 1, right? And they say that after 5 years, the oven will have to be replaced. And so year 2, year 3, year 4. What's wrong with it in year 5? It's worthless. That's why they had to replace it. It is worth $0. Okay. Okay.
Okay, hold on.
Okay. So what would the values be here, you think? Less. It's going to get less and less by how much? Any amount? You have to take away enough, the same amount each time, so that by the time you get to here, you're at 0. I don't know. Let's try it. Okay, if you divide by 3 and take away that much, would that work? I don't know. That's what she said. What is 895 divided by 3?
298.33.
Okay, so if you subtract that much, you'd get how much? Okay, and then you subtract that much again. Uh-oh, because then we're going to get to 0 here. Nope, that's not right. Yeah, we're going to divide by 4. What did that equal?
671.
671 point?
Oh no, I was already subtracting it for year 2. It's 223.
223.75. Okay, so that gives, okay, so this would be 895 minus 223.75 equals, let me go get my phone, I'm getting, oh, it's in my pocket. Okay, so what did you get when you subtracted the first time?
671.
25? And then you subtract it again, so that'd be 671.25 minus 223.75, and you got
447.5.
And then, so that was 447.50 minus 223.75, and you would get 223, basically,
Yeah.
but 75? And, yeah. So how do you write an equation for that? Okay, think about this. It's going to be linear. Okay. And what does the slope represent? Yeah, because you're going to have something like this, right? It's going to start at year 0. Well, that year 1, but I guess we could say, we could call that year 0, and then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make this year 0, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3. But still, yeah, but I know you're saying you'd have to divide by 5. Oh, you know what? I think they did divide it by 5 because they've got it at 179. Yeah, I think we do have to start with 0. So it's not divided by 4, it's divided by 5. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's good. I think it's like 179 something. 179. Ish. Okay. And so we're going to subtract 179 each time. Okay. And that is basically your change. That's changing in value by $179 each year. That makes sense? 179 really? That doesn't seem like much. Okay, yeah. And so that's actually your slope. That's your change, so 179. And what is the y-intercept? How much was it worth at 0?
895.
Yeah, 895. And so there's your equation. Trying to think if there's another way to get to it, another way to look at it. And you went on to have questions for 13, etc.
Yes.
Okay, so, ooh, wow, that's weird. Okay. Let me look at some of these photos I got from Candace to see what's going on here. Yeah, I see that. I'm wondering if Candace might not have got the backs. How many pages is yours, front and back? I mean, can you count? Not including the key.
Says 5. So that would be like
5 front and back.
2 pages front and back.
Okay. So she got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, but that's okay. I'll check this out in more detail, Candace. Right now, I'm just going to go ahead and work on these other problems for them. Okay, so let's look at 13. 13 was a little weird, and it kind of bothered me because the way they asked for the problem is not the way they had the answer on the key. So let me go over that. So let's organize the data. So a real estate office handles an apartment complex with 50 units. When the rent, so rent per unit was 520, then all 70 units are occupied, but it only had 50 units.
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay, we're just gonna assume there were 70. Then when occupied is 70. However, when the rent is 625, it drops to 46. Okay, so it looks like what's occupied depends on how much the rent is. When they upped the rent, people moved out, right? If they lowered the rent, maybe people would move back in. And so which one to you seems like the independent variable? Independent. The rent, right? This is like the X and this is like the Y, right? Because this is a function of that. Okay, well, then they go and say that they call the monthly rent, they call it P. They call this P. And the demand, or the, how many gets lived in, they call that the demand, and they call it X, which is confusing because it's the dependent variable and they want us to call it X. So, and they want us to call this one P. But then their answer is just in terms of X and Y like this. And so what I would suggest is let's just forget what they're calling it. Okay, let's just call this X and this Y. And that gives you 2 data points. And so we just want an equation using those 2 data points, give me a Y equals MX plus B. Is that all right? I know they went through elaborate pains to make it confusing and misleading. And part of the problem I think with a lot of these is that it's a question bank where they switch parts of the questions around, like when you, for a different test of different form, it has 70 instead of 50 and then 50 and and they don't get that clear every time. So start off finding M. And then you can plug one of the points in and then find B. And then you should end up with the answer that they give. And they have a fraction and a decimal, which was another confusing thing. But I think in this kind of problem, it's more realistic to use just decimals. I'll just put 2286 X plus 188.85. I'll say 86. So I think it's pretty clear to what they have, close to what they have. Now what the landlord's going to do is he's going to figure out which of these gives him more money. Is 520 times 70 more, or is 625 times 46 more? And one of those will be better than the other. And that's what he'll do. Or maybe he'll find something even different by charging more or charging less. Is that those values y'all are getting? So you have 46 minus 70 over 625 minus 520. And I got the negative 0.22857. And then you plug that in, and what number did I plug in? I plugged in the 70 and the 520 for X and Y and found my B to be 188.86. You could probably plug the other point in and it make them out slightly different, but it should be pretty similar. a lot of times on these kinds of problems, it's best to organize the information they give you. And once you do that, then it might be more obvious what what they want you to do with it. Because in words, it doesn't really make sense. Okay, what's the next one, Jesse? 17. Okay, another thing that's similar to this. Okay, this one was 13. Okay, on 17, and the average rate of change from x equals 1 to x equals 5. They say x1 and x2. Okay, so average rate of change, average. What's another word for average rate of change? Anybody want to make a wild guess? Yeah.
Number 13, I keep getting a negative.
Negative? Right here?
No, negative.
Negative b. Did I get a negative b? No, let me see. Did you get the same number?
Negative 0.2 times 5 plus 13.
And this was 13. They have a positive. Hang on.
You just added
It came out with positive? Because what I did was I said 70 equals negative 0.22 whatever. 22.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, times 520.
I got it. It's 180 here.
Yeah.
I was doing
That's stupid.
Is everybody okay with 13 or still working on it? No? What's the matter, Jesse? These decimals, right?
I'm getting 48. Oh, I just plus 3.
Where does 118 come from?
It's
Oh, negative 0.22 times 520.
I think
Then you have to add that to 70.
Yes, I was adding a negative
Oh.
to it.
Yeah. Y'all ready to go to 17? Find the average rate of change of the function from x equals 1 to x equals 5, and you have the function of x squared minus 3x plus 14. And so they give you x, and they give you two x's. What do you think might be something you ought to do for those x's? Plug them in, maybe find what the y's are for those x's. So why don't you do that? Plug 1 in for x and see what you get, and plug 5 in for x and see what you get. You could also put it in y equals and then set up a data table and then just see what it is in the data table. Did y'all get, what'd you get for 1? 12 and 5? 24. I love this bullet point. See the bullet, it's instead of chiseled, it's called bullet. It's right there. I love that. Sorry. These things make me happy. Okay, so average rate of change, what do you think you got to do? Huh? Slope. Average rate of change is slope.
Why can't they just say that?
Because they want you to know. Because remember when we were doing the house? No, we weren't. We were doing the oven for the pizza place. it was changing by a certain amount each year, that was the average rate of change in the decrease of the price. Because there's the math world and then there's the real world. And it's easier to say slope. And when you look at a graph, you're looking at, you know, how much it's tilted. You're looking at its slope. I mean, that's just kind of, I could call you Miley. I could call you Miss whatever, yeah. Or I could call you Hey You. I'm sure you all have all kinds of different names for each other. Okay, so what'd you get when you did that? 3, right? Did you got 3?
Yes.
That's it.
Oh my goodness.
I could just say what they mean.
They're trying to train you to know. Okay, what's the next one? 19. Amazing. Okay, this was a little tricky just because you probably had window issues. Okay, it says blah, 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 right? And then it says use a graphing utility. What do they mean by a graphing utility? All right, see, they can't even call that. I guess because maybe some people have, they're using a computer and they're using the graphing thing on their computer. I don't know. Or an abacus. Okay. And it says to select the graph, which means to sketch the graph of the function. So you go to your y1 equals in your calculator, and you put in that function, negative 0.294x squared plus 97.744x minus 664.875. Now, do you notice where they say 20 is less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 90? That gives you your window for your x min. Your x min, make it 20. And your x max, make it 90. Now, then you think, well, what's the y window? I don't know what the y window is. So what you can do is plug 20 into the equation and find out what you get. And then plug 90 into the equation and find out what you get. And you come up with something like 1172.4 and 5750.7, which I just rounded. I made this 1170, and I made this 5760. So this is my x, my y min and max. Okay. And so you end up getting a graph that looks kind of like this, hopefully. And I'm just going to put my windows here. And you can do that without even reading about what it's all about. It's the number of lumens, which is the time rate of flow of light, L. And so that is what the Y thing is right here, L in the lumens. If you look at a light bulb box, so when you go and buy light bulbs at the store, it'll tell you what the lumens are on the box. They used to have just wattage, but now they go by lumens. I think it's by lumens. And it says where X is the wattage. So down here, this X down here is your wattage. How many 100 watts bulb or 60 watt bulb or whatever. Okay. And then it says, using the graph, estimate the wattage necessary to obtain 3,800 lumens. Okay, so your lumens is on the y-axis, right? And 3,800, that's in there somewhere, right? Probably somewhere around here-ish, 3,800. So what you can do is go to y2 and just type in 3,800. And what will that do to your graph? When you type in Y2, a line going straight across at 3,800, right? And then when they intersect right there, you know that it'll reach 3,800 whenever the wattage is right here. So what calculator function can you use to find out where those intersect? I wouldn't go to the table. You can do second calc intersect. Or you can do trace, but the second calc intersect works better because if you're tracing, it might skip over. It goes from point to point, but it doesn't do every single point. It jumps across. And so the second calc and then intersect, and then you have to hit enter, 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 and it'll finally give you the point down here. And it comes out, it says estimate. They give you a decimal number, but it's right close to 55. I got 54.6688, but it's pretty close to 55 watts. Yeah, but you can do it just as general as this. It doesn't have to be all to scale or anything. You can just say what my window is here and there and put a 38 like that. In other words, just kind of what your screen looked like with the numbers so I know. So while they're doing that, I'm gonna look at these. Wait, that's the answer key. Yeah. Okay, so I think she did not get all the pages. Page 6 to 12. Page 3. Four is page 28. Okay. Mr. Smith, do you still have I gave you one of these, right? Did you find yours and make me, well, let me get the page 2 and page 4. And if in your office, which is way over there. Did I have another blank one? I can just print it out again. I can just print it out again. Okay, so Candace, somehow, let me see which of the key you didn't get. Do it all at once. So you need 1 through 5. That's page 1. This is page 2. Page 7. Okay, I need to get all of these and those. She thought she was almost done, and she's got 2 more pages to go.
Bless you.
Okay, and questions on other problems? Yes?
20.
20. I'm glad to see that y'all worked on this and not just didn't wait till today in class, because now you got questions I can answer. Okay, take a look at 20. Oh, yeah. This one is the way they're asking it is also weird, but I don't think you'll have any problems. Okay, so you've got a point called 6A and 5C. And the A and the C are just there to make you get scared. Okay, so don't be scared. And so let's say that that point is over here somewhere. Okay, and it says find the coordinates of a second point on the graph of a function f if the given point is on the graph and the function is even and odd. So let's do even first. Okay. So if it's even, the kind of graph is what? It's symmetric over. If it was symmetric over the x-axis, it would no longer be a function. So it's symmetric over the y-axis. So let's say maybe it's a parabola that looks like this. Okay, that would be even, right? Oh, is it time to go? And so they're asking, what would this point over here be? Well, this would be negative, but that would be the same. And then for odd, it's symmetrical over the origin, and so they'd both be negative. There you go. Yeah, that's all you needed. Okay, so I'll answer any more questions that you might have before I pass the quiz out tomorrow, the test. Okay, So if you have any more questions, try to get them answered. You have the key with you. And if not, then I'll go over a couple of it tomorrow before the quiz. Okay, and I'll get the stuff you need. Oh, she's already gone. Wow, she hung up on me. Nope, I don't know. Is she there? There she is. Okay, so I'll get those questions to you, and if we need to, I'll let you have an extra day before you take the test if you need, because you'll need more time to work on them. Okay, well then I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.